Hello, manifestors. Are you still confused about what self-concept really is, how to improve it, and why we are saying that once you work on your self-concept, your desires will come to you? If you want to have the answers to those questions today, be sure to stick all the way to the end of this video because you're not going to be disappointed. You are going to understand once for all what is self-concept and why you need to work on your self-concept if you have desires that you want to manifest. So please subscribe, like the video, comment, and share so more people like you can become master manifestors. So in this video, you are going to learn what is self-concept, how to change your self-concept, and how your new self-concept is going to transform your life. The first thing I want to say is that most of us, not to say all of us, who have discovered the law of assumption through the teaching of Neville, Goddard, or maybe some other teachings. We started to get interested in this in order to get something. So we came with our old good self trying to get something. Either it was trying to get money, trying to get a specific person, trying to get health, trying to get something. And as a matter of fact, if you are still trying to get something or someone, it means that you have not changed your self-concept yet. So be sure to watch this video all the way to the end, especially if you are trying to get that SP of yours and some other things. So if you are in the business of getting things, so to speak, you may have noticed that there are some things that you can get very easily, and some other things it's not so easy, and some other things yet it's impossible. You can't seem to be able to get them. And this is because of your self-concept. So whatever concept of self is yours right now, whatever is your self-concept, otherwise said, allows you to get some things easily, some other things not so easily, and yet some other things not at all. And the very basic reason why there are some things you can't seem to get at all, it's every time you see that thing bigger than you. When you see something bigger than you, whether it's consciously or unconsciously, it's the same anyway, that's when you are not going to be able to manifest such a thing. And this is why your self-concept and being able to change it is paramount in your conscious manifesting world. So something that you need to understand fully is what is self-concept. Self-concept is not only about your self-esteem and self-confidence. Self-concept is the sum total of your beliefs. Okay? The sum total of your beliefs. It's how you perceive things, how you perceive everything in your world. It's your expectations, what you expect from yourself, from this world that seems to be outside of you. What you assume. What are your assumptions in general about yourself and about the world around you again? This is your self-concept. So for example, when people come to me saying, I've been affirming for so-and-so amount of time and I'm not seeing any results, it's because you are affirming from your old concept of self. And we could even say that that need of affirming in order to get something comes from a certain self-concept. It comes from the concept of self, of believing that you need to affirm in order to get something. or that you need to do any techniques, as a matter of fact, to get something. When those techniques only work if they are meant to change your self-concept. But if you're not using the techniques to change your self-concept, and you keep on doing the techniques from the old self-concept, then there is a problem right there. And if you are not able to manifest your desire, it's because you are doing just that. You are doing techniques, you are doing affirmations, you are doing all those things from your old self-concept rather than in order to change that self-concept. And I see this with my clients. Once they have improved their self-concept, the first thing they're saying is, I don't want to affirm anymore, or I don't want to do so-and-so technique anymore. I don't want to do SATs anymore. This is when they have changed their self-concept. They have improved, they have upgraded their self-concept. When that happens, you don't even want to do the techniques anymore. If you are asking me for more affirmations or for more this or that, I know that there's still some work that needs to be done when it comes to your self-concept. What you need to understand is that you manifest 24/7. You've been manifesting from day one, consciously and unconsciously. Because manifestation, the law of assumption, works 24/7. It's just a reflection of the content of your mind. The good, the bad, the neutral, everything is a reflection of the content of your mind. And the content of this mind of yours is your self-concept. So when you do your little techniques, a few minutes, even to an hour or so a day, but the rest of the time you are running on your self-concept, because we have no choice but run on our self-concept. When you put gasoline in your car, whatever type, whatever quality gas you put in that car is going to run according to the quality of the gasoline that you put in it. So it's the same with your self-concept. It has to run. It has no choice. There is no push button, no pause button, no stop button. It has to run on the quality of your self-concept. And this is why it's not your little sats here and there, your little affirmation here and there, that's going to change anything unless you use them in order to change things. But this is where the problem lies. When you get into the law and you persist on getting things instead of changing you, you are running on that old negative concept of self. So no matter what you do, you keep on manifesting pretty much the same thing. When all you have to do is changing at the root, right? And the root is your self-concept. I hope you understand this, because as long as you do not truly understand this, you are going to keep on trying to get things for the rest of your physical life. And this is not what you want to do. I know it's not what you want to do. This is why we say that the only thing that really needs to be changed, it's your self-concept. Because the beliefs and the program that runs your mind, which is your self-concept, will always manifest. And this is why just observe people's lives. You'll see that they manifest the same type of life from beginning to end. Nothing really ever changed. It's the same story that plays year after year after year when we look at linear time. Because the deep down beliefs, meaning the self-concept, keeps on running the same way. The moment you change that self-concept, however, it's the moment your physical world starts changing as well. Because it has to. Because it's always a reflection of that self-concept. If you've understood anything I've just said so far, you may understand this quote from Neville. There is no one to change but self. That self is simply your awareness. Your consciousness and the world in which it lives is determined by the concept you hold of self. It is the consciousness that we must turn as to the only reality. This is why Neville said that there is no one to change but self. Because what we are conscious of being, which is our self-concept, is the only reality. Because everything that you manifest in your world right now and since you were born is manifested based on that self-concept. That self-concept runs automatically, runs on autopilot, and it will do what it has to do, which is manifest in your physical world according to what it is. In other words, your world is the reflection of the content of your self-concept. So now that you have understood, I hope, what self-concept is and how it is the number one factor in your manifestation, in the quality of your life, let's see how you can change that self-concept of yours if it's not serving you at all right now. So a very popular sentence in the manifesting community, it's I am God, or I am God of my reality. People are saying this, but they are not experiencing it at all. Because they say I am God of my reality, wanting something or someone. Just sit a minute, think a minute, stop a minute right now, right here. Even stop this video and think a minute. If you are God of your reality, why do you want this thing over there? If you are truly God of your reality, if you truly are God of your reality, how in the world do you want something? Do you think that God wants anything? No. No, 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 no. God does not want anything because God is everything. Do you get that, guys? So when you are in a state of need, in a state of desiring something, yet you feel separated from it, right? You feel sometimes that this thing that you want is bigger than you, it's greater than you. And within the same breath, you are saying you're God of your reality. You're not. At least you're not thinking that you are. It's just a phrase that you've heard. It sounds good, it makes you feel good, but you do not truly, truthfully feel that from within. Made you feel good, so you're using it. But truthfully, you do not feel it to the true sense of the term. And that's why you feel separated from your desire, and you feel that your desire is greater than you. So when people ask the question, and I get that question quite a bit, how not to feel separated from my desire? Well, once you have the true understanding from within that you are God of your reality, that alone will stop you from feeling separated from your desire. In each one of us, there is a little self and a greater self. And the little self is the one that has doubts and fears and questions everything and wants to fix everything and feels separated from everything. That's your little self, also known as the ego self, if you prefer. And there is the greater self. The greater self is what made you attracted to the law of assumption. It's what made you wanting to be more, wanting to know more. And it's the observer. So if you sit down a minute and you observe your thoughts, you observe your doubts and fears and questions and all that stuff, who is observing it? The who is observing it, it's your greater self, otherwise known as your God self. And the more you become the observer, the more you understand what it means to change in consciousness, to change your self-concept. Because the more you do this, the more you are going to identify with your greater self, and the less you are going to identify with your little self. Does that make sense? All those techniques out there, they are just ways for you to experience the feeling of being that desired self-concept. If you prefer visualizing, if you prefer affirming, if you prefer simply assuming and imagining, whatever you prefer, it's okay. Use that, but you need to use it in order to put you in the feeling and in the belief, otherwise known as in the state of being who you want to be, of being that desired self-concept. This is why Neville said that there is no one to change but self, because unless and until you change that self, it is impossible for the world that is a pure reflection of you to change. Your world, which includes all the people in it. Your world, being only a reflection of you, cannot and will not change until you change that concept of yourself. Your concept of self will be changed through practice. Practice going within, practice observing the ego self, the little self. Practice not reacting to that ego self, and practice embodying more and more every day, a little bit more, that greater self, that God self. And you will see the world around you change, because first of all, you will start feeling different. And once you start feeling different, your world around you reacts according to that. But as long as you still feel the same within, and then you're saying that nothing is changing around you, nothing is changing in your life, don't go further than that. That's the reason why. As long as you feel the same, you have not changed your self-concept. And that's why your world out there hasn't changed either. So instead of looking at 3D to see if your desire is coming your way, to look for signs and all that BS, instead take it as a thermometer or as a barometer of how you feel inside. What's the level of your self-concept? Because that's all the 3D can give you. It can only give you the feedback of who you are inside, of your self-concept. So why changing your self-concept changes your life, helps you to manifest any desire you might have? Because since your self-concept is the blueprint of your life, once you change that blueprint, your life has to change. It has no choice, because your physical life, your 3D life, is a pure reflection of that blueprint called self-concept. So for example, if you are manifesting a specific person, but you have the deep down belief, which is part of your self-concept, that you are not worthy of a relationship, or that you are not good enough once you are in a relationship. That specific person that you want, either you're not going to be able to manifest them, or if you do, they won't stick around very much. This is why, by changing your self-concept in this regard, by understanding that you are deserving from birth, that you are deserving of the best relationship, that you are attractive, that you are loving, that you are loved and chosen, by changing that self-concept of yours, you will automatically, easily, flawlessly manifest your specific person. And not only that, but be able to keep them. And this is just one example. This works for everything. As long as your self-concept contradicts what you want, what you desire, that self-concept will work against you. This is why, if you have not understood this until now, working on your self-concept and changing your self-concept is paramount to manifest your desire, any desire. So guys, this is one of those videos that is very long, probably my longest one so far, but that you are going to watch more than once. And I know some of you have told me that you are watching my videos over and over, which is great. But to recap very quickly, what is your self-concept? Your self-concept is the sum total of your beliefs, your assumptions about everything. How to change your self-concept? By becoming the observer. Because if you don't become the observer, you are like any dude out there that doesn't know the law. You are just reacting and reacting and reacting. When you become the observer, you get further away from your little self and closer to your higher self, to your greater self, to your God self. And that's how we change our concept of self. And how does it change our lives? Because the self-concept is the blueprint of our life, of everything that's going on in our lives. And when we change that blueprint, by default, life changes. I hope this was helpful, guys. If it was, please, if you've not subscribed yet, subscribe, like, share, comment, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.